Hi everybody, this is Annette with Canna-Envy, and I am doing a voiceover, so bear with me with my video. Sometimes it's kind of hard to do talking videos when I'm actually making my products, and then there's a lot of editing involved and stuff, so I kind of just like to set my camera up on record and just do my thing. So that being said, I am making mushroom chocolates. I love using Ghirardelli's chocolate. In every chocolate that I make, I use only Ghirardelli's. Just because to me, I think they taste the best. But anyway, I have weighed out 1.1 grams of mushrooms in each one of those individual slots. There's 24. And when I do melting of my chocolate wafers and everything, I kind of like to always use a little bit of butter flavored shortening. I only use a few grams of that in the chocolate. It kind of helps it to cooperate a little bit better, and it just gives me like a minute or two of working time extra. So right here, I have a recycled cup. I'm putting my piping bag in there. And then I'm going to take my wafers, I'm going to put them in a glass measuring cup, and I will be putting those in the microwave at 30-second intervals until they are completely melted. Here I went ahead and I pre-melted the shortening. Now, one of the things that I like to do is if I was going to infuse this with cannabinoids, I would have infused the shortening. That would have acted as my carrier. But that's not the case here. This is just strictly mushroom chocolates. So after about 3 to 4 30-second runs in the microwave, we have this beautiful liquidy consistency, and it won't stay liquidy like this for long, but this liquidy consistency like this allows me to be able to work with it in a little bit longer than it would normally take. Because sometimes, you know, when you heat the chocolate up in the microwave, if something goes wrong and you heat it just a little too much or stir it a little too much, it has a tendency to coagulate. And at that point, the only thing you can do is to add a ton of shortening in there to get it liquidy again if you're going to save the batch at all. So I kind of like to preset the scene so I don't have an issue. Put a few grams of shortening in my measuring cup. I go ahead and melt that down, like I said, between 3 and 4 30-second intervals. Make sure I do enough of the little scrapey, get all my chocolate out. And now what I'll do is I will pour into these individual molds. I'll just pull my piping bag out like so. Twist the top on it so I don't have any leakage, and then I will take my scissors and gently cut a little angled cut on the bottom there. Just like that. And then I kind of have to work quick. Because it's warmed up, it'll tend to flow a little faster. So as you can see, I am piping on every single one. Then I'll go ahead and I'll tap my mold down. These particular chocolates, it took a little bit extra chocolate to cover all the mushroom pieces. So I only ended up making 18 out of this particular batch right here. So when I was done with these 18, I went ahead and I warmed up some white chocolate, and I did those last 6 there in white chocolate pieces. And they came out very nice. I added some sprinkles at the end, and I was really pleased at how they looked. But I'll usually scrape anything left over from the piping bag down and get it all squeezed out. Fill in any of the little gaps where it looks like it could use a little bit extra, and then I will tamp it down just like that. I didn't want to accidentally shoot out those loose mushroom pieces out of those last 6, so I kind of made sure I acted a little bit gingerly in tapping these down. But I was very pleased at how they turned out. They turned out very nice. And I'm pretty sure in this video here I have a picture of what they look like at the very end. I wanted to add a little bit of sprinkles because, you know, Who doesn't love colored sprinkles, especially on mushroom chocolates? If you know anything about eating mushrooms, they do have kind of an undesirable taste. So I find that pairing them with dark Ghirardelli chocolate makes them not only bearable, but actually very, very enjoyable and actually very delicious. So yeah, so I wanted to add two different kinds of sprinkles to these. I got a little bit of pink sugar sprinkles, and here I'm doing a little bit of blue and white sprinkles. It wasn't working out too good using my hand, so I figured I would just pour directly from the bag. I kind of like to recycle my spice jars because instead of pouring out of a bag like this, I would prefer to fill a recycled spice jar and just pour it like I'm pouring salt. But that's what they look like. They're so nice. They came out so beautiful. I had an order for 12 of these, so I figured I'd make 24. Like I said, I only made 18 in this batch, and the other 6 I did in white chocolate. But here's the dark chocolate, and as you can see, they came out absolutely beautiful. Well, that's it for now. Bye.